Hey, it's Enter80 here, and yeah, it's been a bit, eh? I haven't posted in a bit, but I've been here, technically, you know what I'm saying? There's a good reason, I hope, of why I haven't been here. And to be honest, it's just how this year started for me because it was a whole clown show. But before that, let me explain something about this video. I didn't intend to make this. You see, I made a little bet with myself, okay? Release one of the two videos you've been working on, or release a video when Kafka comes out. And I just couldn't finish one of the two videos, and I will get deeper onto that, because that's part of my 2023. So hopefully what's in the background is me pulling for Kafka, and if I ramble on for too long, Silver Wolf 2. I think I hit the best of both worlds here. You can listen to my voice, disregard the video, or do the opposite. Who cares? Now, let's start with my story time. And gotcha. I think I've already been exposed a few times, but all my videos are recorded in multiple sessions. Like, I physically cannot record longer than an hour or two, and that only equates to like a minute of audio. Sometimes I get a little extra, but I'm playing with fire there. You see, it only starts with a sore throat, you know? But then I actually get really sick if I keep pushing it. I figured that ain't normal, so I decided to check it out, and I found something that shouldn't be there. You know that little dangling bit called the uvula at the back of your throat? Apparently, right beside it, it had a neighbor. It was just like dangling there. I was like, oh shit, I'm dying. The crazy thing is that I don't know when I had it. Was it always there? Did it hide? Did it grow? I don't know. So I did the logical thing, and after a lot of waiting and seeing doctors, I figured it out. Oh shit, it's just a harmless wart. That could turn into cancer. Very small chance, but it could turn into cancer. I wasn't playing no games. I ain't rolling no dice, so I decided to remove it. I think I'm lucky I live in the land of Monopoly money because they removed it for free, but the idea scared me still. You know what a great motivator is? The chance of getting cancer. So I just bit the bullet and it was easy peasy. They just froze it, cut it off, and prescribed me some drugs. I'm just really sad that I never ended up taking a picture of it. They let me see it, I could hold it in the jar it was in. But I think the adrenaline and the numbing agents they use kind of put taking a picture at the bottom of my mind. And to be completely honest, I don't know if it made a difference in my ability to speak, because I think it helped, but I'm not sure. So for a good part of January, I just couldn't speak, so I hope that qualifies as a good reason. Part 1. It's part 1 because January is still the main issue. The main reason why I don't upload very frequently is because I inconvenience the shit out of myself. It's mostly my fault. Everything I had at that point was outdated, and I didn't want to do something for it to be lost in time. You see, I was using Sony Vegas 15 and Windows 7 in the year 2023. So to keep it short, nothing worked anymore and it wasn't going to be supported. And heads up, Sony Vegas is not a good fucking program. There are plenty of DAWs out there that are very good, and some of them are even free. But my caveman brain can't support anything new, so I just pretty much got the newest version of it. It's not even taking account my computer was just practically a toaster at that point. It is a mishmash of parts from a refurbished computer in 2013. Now, why am I just ranting about my old shit? Well, because I got a surgery in January, I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna reward myself. So I just decided to buy a bunch of parts and build it up from scratch. And does this sound like I'm bragging? Because this is part 2 of why I didn't upload for so long. You see, on that old computer was 2 videos I was working on. And those are going to come out right after this one, eventually. And oh boy, if I released them when they were supposed to, they would have been topical. Right now, not really, but who cares? You know why I bring up those 2 videos and why they haven't been released yet and why I'm making this video in the first place? Well, it's because I'm dumb. I made a rookie error. You see, I bought the parts and decided it was a good idea just to use my main hard drive and build the computer. I was so foolish back then. I wanted to keep Windows 7 and thought everything was gonna be okay. I'll tell you a fun fact. Newer motherboards do not support Windows 7. They may claim to have legacy mode. I don't believe it. Not after what happened. You see, after building my computer. It worked, right? But I just couldn't launch the OS. So I started doing a bunch of stuff, got too cocky, and accidentally wiped my main hard drive, which includes all my programs and all my progress on those videos. So I got desperate, and I decided to pay a service to get my files restored, and it worked, kind of. I managed to save like 95% of my files, but there's a catch. You see, every time the file restoring program failed, it would create another instance and try to save the file. A lot of times it was successful, but when it wasn't, oh boy, it was bad. I know it's my fault, but I record hundreds of audio files because I record by sentence. There is a reason for that, and maybe I'll explain it next time. But having to reattach every single file because you don't know which one's safely recovered and which is not drove me insane. I just didn't want to work on it because I know that I had to spend like an hour or two just reattaching audio, and then I have to come to that realization that you have to re-record the ones that got corrupted. Now, I had two videos. One was about 40% done, the other one was 90%. Guess which one I chose to work on next? If you guess 40%, you're right, because I still haven't opened that 90% finished video. And I have no plans until I finish my current video, so you might call it stalling. I call it stalling. Now, there's nothing wrong with my computer. It should be good. The only problem is that it's good enough for me to actually do things that are not video related, and that's the issue. You see, there isn't reason why I got really into anime and manga, and that's because I couldn't game. I could barely squeak out like 40 minutes before my computer would overheat at the lowest settings. So I couldn't really game, and slowly but surely I went from like 8 hours to 2 to like 30 minutes. And the funny thing is, you know what I did in those 30 minutes? Gotcha. I didn't spend money, all I spent was time, and that is another rabbit hole I'll go down another time. Anyways, just for like 2 to 4 years when I didn't game as much, I started getting into light novels, web novels, manga, anime. I still do that, but mixed with gaming, I am very bad at time management. That's a me problem, but there's two things that were completely out of my control. I don't know how it happened, but I got fucking simjacked? I didn't even know that was a thing. My bad, I guess. But it's where I think they just remotely take your SIM card and move it to somewhere else. The thing was that my SIM card was still in my phone. Someone just stole my service, pretty much. So, including the data that I am getting robbed of, I don't get to make any calls, and the most pressing thing is that they get all my texts. Which is a huge problem because that's how you get two-factor text authentication. And the cherry on top is that they also got my email address. They didn't get the password, but what they fucking did, oh, it messes me. It pisses me off to this date. You see, I'm very stubborn. I've had an email for very long and I refuse to change it. But what they fucking did, they signed me up to every goddamn mailing list known to man. And a bunch of spam shit too. And do you know why they did that? It was a distraction. It was a two-pronged attack. You see, the very first email that I got was from my bank saying that my password was changed. But I didn't see that until it's too late. I just suddenly got a bunch of goddamn emails. I'm not a person who gets emails. So that kind of made me get lost. And while I was looking at that, my phone, suddenly having 200 emails, suddenly lost service. I don't know if this is normal, but my banking app just preloads how much money you have in an account before you even sign in. It showed me I just lost $3,000, and I was in need, so I kind of panicked a bit. Remember how I said they changed my password? Well, they actually did, and I locked my account like a dumbass. So I couldn't make any calls to my bank, so I kind of downloaded one of those apps that gave you a phone number, and went through the process of calling my cellular service provider. And you know what they told me? The fucking fishers didn't change anything. But they told me my SIM card that was in my phone was not one of their company's SIM cards. I distinctly remember walking into that branch when I just got my phone and buying a SIM card from the person, and they told me that they had no idea what SIM card I was talking about. That was kind of sus, but I was like, whatever, man. I accepted it, bought a new SIM card, everything worked again. So I dealt with my bank shit, and I got my money back, but it was just so time consuming and stressful, but that's a reason, I hope. Now, all this stuff happened to me in the first 3 months of 2023. The last one happened really recently, and it was annoying. Some goddamn birds decided to live in my house. Oh, is that a pet? No, they just decided to build a nest somewhere in my house, and it was a mystery until it wasn't. It started with the flapping of wings every so often. I just accepted it was outside my window. It wasn't. You see, there are several places where air has to come out of a house. And right where the stove exhaust is, they built a nest. You know, the fan which kind of sucks up all the air when you cook, all that steam and oil and grease, all that stuff. Yeah, right on top of it, like right in the fan, was a goddamn nest. You know how I knew? When I was cooking, a feather fucking came down and I wasn't having it. I just assumed the chirping was happening outside in a nearby tree. But when I really thought about it, that didn't make sense because it was so goddamn loud in the house. It was a goddamn war. I'm telling you the truth. I kind of turned on that fan just for fun at night. It was to the point where I made a bunch of calls and figured out, man, it's expensive to get birds removed. But you actually can't get them removed. They clean it. You see, there's a law just in case it's an endangered bird that you can't mess with that nest, okay? So you pretty much gotta wait 3 weeks for the chicks to grow up and to leave. Hearing chirping every day, and then at night you hear the flapping of wings, isn't a pleasant experience, I tell you what. It felt vindicated to know that my family felt the same. My dad was kind of like, whatever. My mom cooks, right? So she's like, that's not safe. So she got one of her coworkers, an old Asian man who would do anything to save money. You know what I'm saying? This is the first time I've ever seen this man. But he got his hands dirty. You know what I'm saying? I was in my room, just reading, when I heard a bunch of flapping. Oh my god, it was... I'm not going to go into detail. Just know that when they left to replace that goddamn oil vent, I heard the flapping of wings. I'm like, oh no, that's the mom, ain't it? Oh no. That entire experience just made me hate birds. I had no part of it. I'm taking no responsibility. I was just reading manga. So that's how my 2023 is kind of going. So yeah, I have a lot of time before I finish pulling, don't I? So I'm just gonna talk about random shit, I guess. So if you don't care, you can leave. But I'm thankful for whoever stayed so far. I don't think I want to finish pulling in this video. So just a spoiler. I was aiming for E1 Kafka and Light Cone, alright? You might not know nothing about this gacha game, but just know that I got it, alright? So, yay! It's one of the small joys you get from playing a lot of gacha games, yeah. But, yeah. Well, this is the last thing I want to talk about gacha in this video. Well, my MiHoYo account got hacked during this 1 month period from January to February. Not gonna go in details, but this fucker spent all my Primo Gems on a character that I already had. Because he's a dumb edgelord. So now, I just play Genshin just to get the Primo Gems because I have an addiction to rolling in miscellaneous games. Now, here's the one tip I can give you if you love a game a lot and are attached and you don't have a crippling gambling addiction. Spend money once. Just once. So that you can prove with that one transaction that you own the account. Makes the process a lot easier and faster. Or just don't get hacked. Forehead. Just don't have an easy password and always change it every few months. Blah 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 blah. I'm too lazy. Enough of that. Now I have like 2 minutes, so let's talk about anime. Haven't watched any of that for 2 seasons. There's a lot of things I recognize, and that's usually a bad thing because they're trash. So a lot of the isekais I won't touch, and the school stuff sometimes I touch, but for the most part, only the sequels are good. And I can't start those if I don't start the first season. So that's my anime update. Regarding the next video, it's Oshinoko. I started this video like a year and a half ago, and I haven't watched the anime, and every fiber of my being is holding me back. That's probably the reason why I haven't touched any anime, because I don't want to think about it. Because if I watch that anime and it changes my video in any way, it's going to delay another 6 months. This video took way longer than I wanted it to. So, yeah. I'm kind of embarrassed. This was supposed to be a one-take wonder, but this is session 4. Anyways, that's it. I have nothing else to say. Thank you very much if you stayed this long. And if you want to hear stuff about my channel future and stuff like that, here. I want to release 3 more videos. Oshinoko, Eminence in Shadow, surprise video. And then for 2024, double my video count. This is the only time I'll ever be able to say it and be realistic about it because, yeah, I don't have a lot of videos and it's been a year. So, please like, comment, subscribe. I will be consistent. I don't believe myself when I say that. Yeah, that's it. Goodbye. I kind of like making videos like this. I don't know if anyone's gonna watch, truth be told, or anyone makes it this far. So yeah. If you got any questions or something you want to talk about, just post it here. Next time I take a year-long break, I will answer those, or maybe sooner, because this is really easy to make. Oh yeah, I actually figured out what was wrong. I had tonsillitis. I had it several times already, and I'm still recovering from it. So this is recording session 3. So I can record longer if I tried.